You're going to hear a lot more tonight about the bucket list. And before I move on, I want to share something with you that's been very special to me, because I've been thinking about what can I say about the bucket list that has meaning. And the first I would like to start out with, don't you really think that our bucket list starts when we're very young? Because even when we're young children, I want to be a cowboy, I want to be a nurse, I want to play, they're playing doctor, we're playing doctor. So you really start thinking of what can and what might be when you're actually very young. And then as you get older and you move into college and then you get married and your dreams and everything starts to change, but your bucket list grows emotionally in so many different ways. In this wonderful book that you're going to receive tonight about the bucket list, you're going to be stunned with what's in there and what it will make you think about as a person. And I think the most important thing to remember about your bucket list is that dreams have no expiration date. You can put as many things as you want in your bucket list, and they can be there for as long as you want them to be and to fulfill them or not fulfill them. If you want to climb Mount Everest, if you want to go on the river cruise that Mary's going on, everything can be a part of your bucket list, but there's so many pieces and parts. The other big part of retirement is that nobody talks about, verbally anyway, or nobody talked to me about it, was how does retirement affect your marriage? Quite a bit. Someone told me years ago that being married is just two imperfect people refusing to give up on each other. Do it. So I want to share with what I did with my husband on his date night last week. We went to Home Depot. Oh, it gets better. To buy a Comfort Height toilet. And then we went to Chili's. It was the highlight of my week. The day of the surgery, we go to the hospital and we check in, and there is this lovely little dark-headed gal behind the desk in the admissions office who I'm sure was 12. And as she's looking through my husband's paperwork, all of a sudden she starts to talk to us in this very loud, measured, slow voice. She said, "Mr. Kueker, do you know what you're signing today? Mr. Kueker, do you know what kind of procedure you're having today? Mr. Kueker, do you know what knee you're..." I went, "Excuse me, do you think somehow we're senile or hard of hearing? Do we look like that?" And she picked up my husband's chart and she said, "Well, you're over 70. Okay. And then what I discovered is when you are all together, your significant other, spouses, you're together all the time, 24/7 in your newly purchased leather recliners that vibrate, staring at each other like you're strangers in a stranglehold over the remote, it's pretty daunting. Because you know what I found out about you guys? You don't care what's on television. You only care when you have that remote what else is on television. And it is frustrating. But I was really focused on how do we get from that step A to step B. And there was two important things that I used as I planned the retirement financial plan. Number one was a budget. I can't tell you how many times I traveled this year, and during my book signings at the end, people said, "I don't need to have a budget because I know exactly what I spend." No, you really don't unless you have a budget. So we started a budget early, and we started putting away $25 a month because that's all we could afford. We did the budget monthly, quarterly, and annually, and we stuck to it because my grandmother's demise was so etched in our minds. But what I learned a long time ago, that money can buy you stuff, but money also buys you choices. And that's what became very important to us. The more money we saved and the more money we put away, the more choices we had. Because after you retire, how you spent money before you retire directly correlates to how you spend money afterwards. For instance, we know that relationships put such a strain on us at any particular time, but retirement is one of the worst. It just never dawned on me that our identities are so closely linked to who we are at work that we have no idea how to assimilate into the mainstream of retirement. Excuse me, my memory is not quite what it was. 2 weeks ago, I was at Costco shopping, and I just love Costco. I don't know about you guys, but there's so much stuff that you can put in there, and you have to throw away half of it, especially if you're just a couple, but at least it's fun. And I got a phone call on my cell phone, and it was my youngest daughter, and she's just actually moved to Tucson to be near, she and her husband to be near us, and it's just been a ball. And I said, "Hi, honey." I said, "I'm at Costco and I'm shopping." I said, "Is there anything you want that I can pick up for you and bring home?" Silence. She said, "Mother, we came together and I'm sitting at the door waiting for you." One day, in my pajamas, I had a knock on the door, and I thought, thank God, it's my UPS man, and he's bringing me my Overstock.com thing. And I opened the door, and there he was standing there. Now, this young man was about 35 years old, and I'm in my robe and my bunnies and my little Elmo slippers and my bunny pajamas, and he looked at me for a minute before he handed me the package, and I thought, what? He said, "You know what? You'd probably feel better if you combed your hair." And I took the package and I slammed that door in his face, and I marched into the bedroom, and I looked at myself in the mirror and I thought, oh my gosh, I look like a bag lady. All I need is a cart and I'd be set. And what I decided, my hair was sticking out all over the place. I had mustard stains on my pajamas from a hot dog I'd eaten earlier in the day. I was just a total mess. And I thought, you know what, Becky? This was after 2 years. The avoidance technique can only last for so long. As you make each passage from youth to adulthood to maturity, sometimes you put your arms up and you just scream, and sometimes you just hang on to that bar so tight in front of you. But the ride is the thing. I think the most you can hope for at the end of life is that your hair's messed up, you're out of breath, and you don't throw up. Well, my hair's always messed up. I'm always out of breath because I am old, and I haven't thrown up lately. But my recommendation is keep alive the things that make you feel alive. Thank you so much. You've been a wonderful audience. It's an honor to have been with you.
Becky, thank you. Thank you so much.